Kabalevsky, with Mikhail Pletnev conducting, the Russian National Orchestra, and Gil Shaham on violin. Well, we're happily joined again by our favorite energetic music critic, Howard Elias, to tell
film
us...
critic.
Yeah, film critic.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Music.
Oh, I'm sorry, Howard. My mind's on music. Our favorite film critic to tell us about two more of the summer features. How are you today, Howard?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for being here. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, the first film I'm going to talk about, it's a film opened last week, but I couldn't talk about it because I hadn't seen it until last week, is The Meg, the shark film.
The new Jaws.
It's like Jaws, but bigger. I think since you mentioned Jaws, I would say it's fair to say that Jaws is the best shark film ever.
Yeah.
I don't know that we can count Sharknado 5. I didn't see any of it. Did you see any of the Sharknado films?
I enjoy hearing about them.
Yeah. Apparently there's a Sharknado 6 coming out shortly.
Yeah, I think you can sum those movies up in about one sentence.
But I think, look, and I haven't seen them, I think to be fair, they don't take themselves seriously, right? I think they're supposed to be a joke. And so they've been very successful in that respect, whereas Jaws was quite serious.
Yeah.
This one, The Meg, I'm not so sure what it was trying to do. It in some respects it is serious, but in other respects you think no, they gotta be doing this with their tongue in their cheek. Mm-hmm. But like many films these days, it is co-produced by a Chinese company. This Chinese company, that mainland Chinese company, is what's the name of it? There's so many of them these days. This one is Gravity Pictures.
Gravity Pictures.
Gravity Pictures. I've never heard of. So I don't know who's behind it. But like many Chinese producers these days, Hollywood has realized that there's money in China. And if they want their film to be distributed there, they have to do what's called a co-pro, a co-production, and they get a Chinese money thrown in, and they say, okay, we'll cast a couple of A-list stars or B-list.
There's been quite a few of those over the last couple
more
years.
And more, and they get distribution, and they make scads of money in China. So Hollywood says, okay, fine, so we won't make money in America, we'll make money in China. So this is one of those cases. This one, though, I have to say, they've really taken the pandering to the Chinese market to a whole new level, because not only do we have the love interest being Chinese, played by Li Bingbing. We have the Bingbings. We have Fan Bingbing, who has disappeared. Did you hear about this?
No.
So Fan Bingbing, of the Bingbings, Fan Bingbing is the bigger star, and she's disappeared in the past few days.
Oh my gosh!
Because the government is after her for tax evasion, and she seems to have, fallen off the face of it. So nobody knows if maybe she's going to turn up in America somewhere, or if she's already sitting in a prison in Xinjiang.
I think there's a movie right there.
Yeah, who knows? So this one is the lesser Bingbing. This is Li Bingbing. And she was in Resident Evil Retribution, which I did not say. I saw one Resident Evil film. I said, that's enough for me.
Yeah. I think maybe I got 2 or 3 out of that.
Okay, so maybe you've seen her before. I have never seen her before. So she's in this, as well as Taiwanese actor Winston Chow, who was in a wonderful film in, must be about almost 25 years ago, because I was living in Taiwan at the time, called The Wedding Banquet. Did you ever see that movie?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, fantastic. You should check it out. Wedding Banquet, or The Wedding Banquet. So he plays her father. Then there is a little girl, I can't remember her name, also Chinese. And of course, you have half of mainland China who are as extras.
Yeah.
So this is really pandering to the Chinese market. So the story, The Meg, the film is very loosely based. Oh, Phil Whelan's watching us. How much to get Isaac in the shot? I keep telling Isaac to get into the picture. Yeah, okay.
We're talking about Facebook Live. You can catch this on Facebook Live.
Yeah, on my page called Howard for Film, Howard FOR Film. So check out, you can see Isaac and me, and hello, Phil, for watching. So the movie is based on a 1997 book called Meg, a novel of deep terror by a fellow by the name of Steve Alton. He's done a few other books, so it's quite possible that there will be sequels to this film. Certainly, the story is structured that it is very possible that there could be a sequel. The story is about a group of marine scientists who are working at an underwater research facility, who, while investigating the possibility of life existing at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, they are attacked by a 22-meter prehistoric shark.
Okay.
So while Jaws, the Jaws shark, what was the name of the shark in Jaws? I want to say Barry or something.
It had a name? I thought it was just called Jaws.
No, I think they gave the shark a name. I want to say Barry, but it's not. So the shark in Jaws, I think, was 22 feet. This one's 22 meters.
Oh, a little shout out there.
3.3 times longer. Yeah, we're going metric now. So the shark is known as a megalodon, which apparently the megalodons really existed back in prehistoric times, and this one still exists. Now, the team's submersible is disabled by the toothsome Leviathan, and Jonas Taylor, who's played by Jason Statham, Statham, I used to say Statham, but now I understand, no, I've been saying it wrong. Statham.
Yeah.
Statham. He is a disgraced rescue diver with experience at extreme depths. He is called in to save the crew. One of them just happens to be his ex-wife.
Of course.
Of course.
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, your ex-wife's 12 miles below the surface of the water. He does, of course, save her, but in the course of the rescue, a hole is created in the cold water layer, and that has been keeping the fish at the bottom of the ocean until now. And so now, back on the surface of the water, Jonas and the team of scientists and engineers and the beautiful oceanographer Jang Soo-yin, played by Li Bingbing, they have to try to kill the Meg before it kills them and everything else that's in the ocean.
Probably a good idea.
So that's what the film's about. Now I'm going to start with the positive.
Okay. I'm glad there's something.
There's some positive. The film is not a train wreck, okay? The story's coherent, the acting is acceptable, and the images are all in focus.
Okay.
I'm done.
A ringing endorsement.
Yeah, I'm done with the positive now. So for the negative, it is completely dumb. It's such a dumb film. And as I said, it's blatantly tailored to appeal to the mainland Chinese audience. Now, not that in itself is not a problem, but what is a problem is that it's a PG. It's in the States, it's rated as a PG-13. You know, it's meant for families to see. This is the big problem of the film. It's not gory enough, right? It's not bloody enough. You know, when back on the surface, and they go to Sanya Bay, of course, because the shark is hungry. So where else is it going to go but Sanya Bay, right? As of course all sharks do. And as I said, half of mainland China is in this film as extras. They're all swimming in Sanya Bay at the same time. And so the beach is crowded, and the shark is causing a bit of mayhem, but not eating anybody.
No.
And even there's a little dog, I forget the breed of the dog, but one of these little toy dogs is swimming in the water. And of course, is the shark going to eat it? No, the shark, I'm going to spoil it here. No, the shark doesn't eat it. You know, you're like, eat the dog for God's sake, right? You know, let's see some blood. We want blood. At least I do. And I think the problem with this film is in order to appeal to the mainland Chinese audience, they decided not to have blood and guts and gore. And to me, this is the big problem with the film. It's too safe.
It robs it a little bit of that excitement, that danger.
Yeah, the danger. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's a very mild picture. Now, interestingly, the rest of the cast is extremely diverse, perhaps more so than we've ever seen in any other film out of Hollywood. There's the loyal team leader who's Maori. There's the Australian post-punk computer programmer. There's the African-American who wears glasses, so therefore he's smart, but he's, he cracks a few jokes. There's the tender Japanese guy played by Masaoka from the TV show Heroes, who does something, I don't know what he does. There's the post-slacker, long-haired white computer tech guy who apparently is from Iceland. There's the blonde all-American white woman who pilots the submersible, the Barbie, archetype. So, they're completely politically correct, extremely politically correct. If the casting director was given a checklist, you should have, these people, these characters, tick, 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 tick. So, okay, I think they went to the little extreme there. Apparently, Eli Roth, do you know who Eli Roth is? Yeah. So Eli Roth, who's known for his ultra-violent take on things.
And horror movies, actually.
And he recently directed the remake of Death Wish, which was a terrible film, but anyhow. He was originally in talks to direct this film back a few years, 3 years ago, and for whatever reason he didn't. The rumor is because the producers wanted to go for PG-13 and he wanted to go for what's called a hard R,
Mm-hmm.
right? He wanted the blood and the guts and the gore, and they had their disagreement,
Yeah.
and he left the film. I'm sorry that he left because I think it would have been a better film.
Yeah, it sounds like something that's right up his alley, which
Yeah.
is this sort of somewhat comedic horror genre.
Yeah, you could,
horror action.
right? You can make a horror also a comedy,
Mhm.
right? And I think that's where this film could have gone. Now, having said all this, the film's making tons of money.
Of course.
So who am I?
Of
you know,
course.
what do I know?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what do I know? The film is making lots of money. Not just, I don't know if it's even come to China yet, but in America, it's doing far better than was expected. Like nobody expected this film to do well. Well, I guess the producers did, but certainly it's being slammed by critics, and yet the film is making money. So there you go. Shows that we don't know anything. The audience has spoken.
Yes. Well, then, as you mentioned, I think we can expect to see a Meg 2.
I'm sure there will be a Meg 2. Yes.
Even bigger than the last.
It wouldn't surprise me in the least. Now, another film which opens today, although it's already opened in England, I understand, because a lot of my friends there have seen it, and they're already complaining that the radio waves in England are being bombarded with Cher singing her remake of Fernando and Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. Are you familiar?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You're an ABBA fan, right?
Oh, yeah, I do quite enjoy my ABBA.
Okay, so yeah, you know what, I go, yeah, it's okay. I'm not a big ABBA fan.
What they say, an ABBA a day keeps the doctor away.
Oh, do they?
Sorry, just thought of that and wanted to share that.
I can't say that I've ever heard that before, but okay. So yeah, the ABBA movie is back. Mamma Mia, here we go again. And of course, ha ha ha, we get that reference, from the song. Here we go again. So 10 years after the last Mamma Mia film, this new one is back, although the story or life on the Greek island of Kalokairi, or something like that. Doesn't sound very Greek.
Not really, no.
But I think at this point
But it sounds very exotic.
It sounds exotic. Yeah, at this point it's neither here nor there whether it sounds Greek or not. Time on this beautiful idyllic island has inched along because it's only 5 years after the events of the first film.
Mm-hmm.
And as we learn right at the outset, Sophie Sheridan, who is played by Amanda Seyfried, she's the daughter of Meryl Streep's character Donna. Sophie Sheridan is now living in the villa where Donna was, and she's turning it into this sort of upscale but rustic chic hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about to be the grand opening. Meryl Streep's character Donna is dead.
Oh. Shocker. Spoiler alert.
Well, no. I mean, we learned that like in the first 30 seconds of the film, so it's not a big deal. But if you've seen the trailer, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Because Meryl Streep is in
all over it.
She's all over the trailer. Now, this is a spoiler. She's barely in the film.
Oh. So a little bait and switch.
Yeah, the trailer is a cheat. It's bait and switch, exactly. It's fake advertising. It's misleading advertising. So anyhow, Sophie is about to open this hotel, but there are a few last-minute snags that come along. The first one is that her boyfriend, Sky, played by Dominic Cooper, has decided to accept a job offer in New York. 2 of her 3 fathers, Harry, played by Colin Firth, and Bill, played by Stellan Skarsgård, have prior commitments, and they can't make it to the opening. Of course, Sam, who's... is that his name, Sam? Pierce Brosnan's character?
I think so, yeah.
He's still there, so he's there. He's the only father who can show up. And the third problem is that rain is forecast. Oh my God, rain.
Yeah.
It probably rains every day on this Greek island, but...
I think that's about as scary as the shark from
exactly.
the Meg movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you think it would be something a little bit more dire than rain, So we know where this story is heading. Very quickly, we know where this story is heading. So like its predecessor, Mamma Mia, here we go again. It weaves together a story using ABBA songs.
Yes.
The problem here, though, is that all the good songs were already in the last movie.
That's kind of what I was wondering about with this one.
So we're left with the B-sides. We're left with a lot of songs that maybe you would know, Isaac. I certainly, some of them I've never heard of. Like Andante, Andante. Do you know this song?
Yes.
You do know
No,
it.
I don't
No,
know.
apparently Andante was only ever released in Argentina and El Salvador. So if you come from those countries, you know the song. For the rest of us, it's like, okay, never heard of it before. Now, there are a few reprises, of course, like Super Trooper, Dancing Queen, Waterloo, I Have a Dream. You know, it's like, remember the old days when we used to buy compilation albums? You know, in order to get us to buy the album, the B-sides, they threw in a few A-sides
Yeah.
that were already on the previous album. That's the same case here.
So this is sort of the same case with Meryl Streep, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, then the third problem is, of course, Meryl Streep is barely in this film. She's seen in sort of a flashback and ghost apparitions and stuff like that. But she's barely in the film. Even Colin Firth and Stellan Skarsgård are also barely in the film. But if you've seen the trailer, you would think the three of them are the major stars of the film. Now, how the story is very, very light. So in order to get around that, what they've done is they've done the origin, Donna's origin story. And here we have Lily James, who was most recently Cinderella, or people would know her from Downton Abbey. I love her. She's fabulous. She plays the young Donna who's just graduated from university, goes out to Greece, and she meets young Bill, young Harry, and young Sam, and of course doesn't know who the father of her future child is. So this part of the film, I think, is really good. Lily James is absolutely fabulous. She's got scads of on-screen charisma and personality. I really like this part of the film. Unfortunately, it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I think the contemporary, and by contemporary I mean 2005, because that's when this film is set, with the Amanda Seyfried part and the Pierce Brosnan part, I didn't find that so interesting, but the old part I did find interesting. So, okay, not great. The other person I thought was really good was an actor by the name of Josh Dillon, who plays young Bill. I've never seen him before. He also has tons of personality, and he sings. Everybody sings in this film, some better than others. Josh Dillon's going to be in a new film, which is coming out in a couple weeks in the States, called The Little Stranger. He's the star of the film. I don't know anything about it, but let's keep our eyes up for it. If you thought that you were going to cut off your ears the last time after hearing Pierce Brosnan sing, I have good news for you. The auto-tune is working. So he does sing. He does not well, but at least not as...
But better.
Yeah, not as ear-piercing as before. So in that respect, it's okay. So if you're a super ABBA fan, like you or Isaac, you're going to enjoy this film. If you're like me and you're like, okay, ABBA, it's like, yeah, all right. So, but also this film is making tons of money. It's already made $281 million worldwide.
It seems like the films that you are kind of down on are the highest moneymakers.
Yes, it's
we
crazy.
could use you as some kind of prognosticator.
Exactly. Also, Cher, I have to mention Cher because she is in this film. And Cher she's wonderful, as she always is. She plays her character with camp, her typical Cher camp, but with bravado and panache at the same time. Bravado, because she's a woman, and panache at the same time. I think she's really good. And of course, you get to hear her sing Fernando and one other song. But I do want to say one last thing about the film. Andy Garcia is in this film. I won't tell you which character he is and why he's in this film. Awful, awful. Andy Garcia, I used to have so much respect for.
Really?
How the mighty have fallen. I guess he has to pay for his new swimming pool or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's terrible. So anyhow, it's not a horrible film, but it's really meant for ABBA crazy lovers, whatever. So, if that's for you, go see it.
Great. Well, thank you so much for telling us that. We're glad that you could stop by, and we look forward to hearing you next time.
Thanks. See ya.